Welcome to Spirit Coffee Talk. My name is Elyse. I am joined by the lovely Lisa Richmond. We're missing Ginette, but she will be returning with us soon. Really excited this week. So, last week we talked about some of the work that I do with nervous system healing and support. And we teased a little bit, but I yammered on for far too long that we teased a little
No.
bit about about the amazing nervous system work that Lisa does through sound healing. And I have been lucky enough to experience some of her sound healing in person. And it was like sending me to Jupiter, basically. It was incredible. So, yeah, I'm really excited that we get to talk about that today.
Yay. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. So I use sound through the frequency of my sound bowls. So I'll use like the Tibetan sound bowls. I've got different sizes. Now I wanted to be able to play different tunes for you, but lovely Zoom does not, we could not figure out how to get sound through Zoom outside of our voices. So every time I try to play it, it doesn't pick up. So that's that. But um, so I play that in combination. I also have the set. You can see some of my bowls here, and then I have my crystal sound bowls too that I use. And I use chimes, which I love, and I use tuning forks. And in the combination of that, and obviously, I use lots of elements. I use water, fire, metal, and then all my crystals. I create a space of healing using the frequency and sound vibration, sound frequency. So this started when I was, oh gosh, I had been kind of led to use the sound bowls. Like I would go into metaphysical stores and I'd just be like, I would start by just like holding them and being like, oh, this resonates, like it resonates deeply into who I am. And then all of a sudden, when I started getting my concussions, I
It's like a tuning
I
fork to the head.
truthfully, it was like I was learning different ways to heal and to like get myself back on track. And then what I realized was I was getting brought into different timelines, different like timeline energetics through knocking my head. And to heal it, I had this whole new guidance system that came in and started introducing me to sound healing. So I was to get bowls, tuning forks, and so I collected this all and I became the student to these beautiful I a beautiful guidance team that came in specifically to help generate an energy to come through me, almost like a healing channel to come through me. When people a lot like sometimes I'll go into channel and I'll channel something from somebody's higher self or a light being or
Mhm.
something. This is a channel of vibration, a channel of frequency through sound for healing. And I use it for health, like physical body. But like we were talking about, the nervous system is something that my guides were like, this is what we need to focus on because the evolution of humanity right now and how we're kind of upgrading in a collective frequency as well individually. One of the key things is about getting a hold of our nervous system and regulating our nervous system so that we can be in alignment with our higher self. When we connect our human body with our higher self, the best way to get in alignment is actually through a nervous system regulation. And we talked about this, how we aren't actually able to regulate our own nervous system until we're like the age of 7 or 8. And so we take on the most times dysregulated system of our primary caregiver when we were little. And then it's almost like going through life with a dysregulated nervous system and how that affects us so much, right? And so,
Mhm.
I mean, I could geek out on that for hours and just talk about that, but just trying to kind of keep it brief. Essentially, what sound frequency does, it's a very ancient traditional way of healing. So it is not a new age healing
Mhm.
thing that it's just like, ooh, sound bowls, let's play with those kind of thing, even though it's really fun to play with. But the reason why it resonates so deeply is because there is an intuitive knowledge, like a deep wisdom brought forward from many, many, many moons ago in this like primordial, is how Ginette called it, way
Mm-hmm.
of being, where we can connect in with these frequencies, and it resonates in a level that is beyond our conscious 3D brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so just like we learn about our chakra system and aligning our energy fields within our body to get us regulated, what the sound frequency does is it's I use the example of like when a radio station just needs a little fine tuning because it's just a little bit off, and it's like it's hard to decipher and it can get irritating and things are a little off. What the sound frequency does is it brings your system into alignment so that your nervous system and your body can start functioning in this cohesive, very organic fluidity of motion through it, because everything is energy. We know this, right? And so what this does is it helps bring our energy field into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful because everybody's system can be out of tune, out of whack in different ways, right? And so it's amazing when I do these, like if I do group healing sessions, everybody lays down and they're ready for and then all of a sudden they start hearing the bowls. And a lot of times the feedback will be like, it almost sounded like, oh, because it's like certain pitches will hit you and you'll be like, oh, I don't want that. But that's usually because it's like bringing that aspect, that part that's maybe off tune a little bit
Mm-hmm.
within your frequency back into your energetic alignment. And
Mm-hmm.
then by the end of the healing treatment, there is this fluidity where all of a sudden you feel, lots of people will explain it through the sensation of water or actual fluid, where all of a sudden they'll feel like this water is like it's very fluid coming up and down their system. A lot of colors, it really activates a lot of our senses within us, and we kind of go into that theta brainwave state of receptivity and healing into our higher self, in our etheric kind of bodies, in order to bring us into this regulatory state.
Mm-hmm.
And from someone who sees auras and watches energy fields on people, it's such a beautiful thing to see people's energetic frequency come back into alignment, or where their color will be really off and their auric field will be really static. And I'll play the sound frequencies and I'll start to see the actual change in what's going on in their energy field. So it's really beautiful because I can actually physically see it, but then I can feel it too. Like if I'm working one-on-one with someone, and I'm talking like I can be working one-on-one with somebody who's in Texas and I'm in Canada or in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be together. I just can see the auric field, and then my channels come in and allow me to feel into where their system is off in their energy field, and I'll go in and then I'll feel it. I'll see where it happened, maybe childhood or heart or hips, or the chakra systems are such like key bases for
Mm-hmm.
me too. So like I'll see where they're off in their chakras, and
Mm-hmm.
then specificities with that, and then using the frequency of the sound, bring them back into energetic alignment, where it's almost like the flow of things come back and forth, and then they I bring them back into their bodies, and then
Mm-hmm.
they. And so it's such a beautiful process because I have their guides come in and help me. I have my guides that come in and help me. I can feel the energy of where they are in their bodies. I can feel when there's physical pain or like dis-ease, right? That has been built up from a long time. And the whole point is getting them into this fluid state and out of fight or flight. Because
Mm-hmm.
like, at least
Mm-hmm.
humanity's in fight or flight like
Oh gosh, yeah.
90% of the freaking time,
Oh
right?
gosh, yeah.
And so when your nervous system is so taxed and you literally are like crashing and you're having all these physical ailments because of it, right? Like when I can see that, and I'm like, oh my God, we start using the sound to bring in the balance. And then when I am face to face and they are on my bed, you got to feel, I'll use the weighted tuning forks too to actually bring in that vibration along in with it to help. That's a really expedited way of doing it, which is a beautiful kind of, like Reiki type, like, like people say, like, what do you call it? And I'm like, quantum level healing, sound vibration, healing, energetic fluid, like nervous system. I don't know. My guides are like, call it whatever you want. I'm like, you
Mhm.
really could give me something. You're my
Yeah.
teacher. But as I'm
Something
going,
concise would be amazing.
yeah, but it is really
Yeah,
kind of like on a quantum level,
for sure.
energetic healing. So I kind of
Mhm.
use like quantum healing, sound, vibrational sound healing. So it's a passion for sure because the results are like incredible because it's just energy. And so
Mhm.
it's not like, did it work? Because I'm moving your energy. Like, like it's coming through and the energy's there and it's in alignment. So it's such a beautiful individual thing, but also like such a collective thing. Because when I make my videos every week, so I have on Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond, I have my own personal little YouTube page that every Saturday I release a sound healing. And every single week, my guides, I connect in, and the guidance team that have come through for the sound channel comes through. And I play whatever the collective needs to hear, with whom is focusing in and who needs it for what. I don't know. I just play. And that's it. And I just do that and I trust. And it's so beautiful because sometimes the videos are an hour, over an hour long, and those are just to, play in the background if you're having a tub, if you're,
Mhm.
like to fall asleep to. You don't have to sit and watch it, right?
Mhm.
And then some are just 20-minute morning meditations that you wake up to just to regulate your system every morning before you start your day so that you can start in a system that's like aligned and regulated. And it's like to have that fluidity and that grounding. And sometimes
Mhm.
it's all with like, your root chakra, or sometimes it's all in a third eye. Whatever the guidance team is guiding me to is the collective ones that I do every Saturday.
Ugh,
And then now I have my new offering through
yeah.
Avalon as well. So,
Yeah. So I'll link your YouTube in the show notes.
okay.
But it's so interesting hearing because obviously I've chatted with you about this, but I think I texted you a few weeks ago and I was listening to one of your sound Saturdays and I was listening to it while doing some other stuff. And then I picked up my phone and I looked at you and I had to like do a double take because obviously I see you like every week and I know what you look like. And I did a double take and I was like, oh my God, like you looked different. And I think in that one you were just like in sweats and like, super casual. Like you always look amazing, but super casual. And you just looked like this goddess. And I was like,
Ah,
holy shit. You can see the resonance that you're holding and that you're bringing in those moments that I almost didn't recognize you. Like it just looked like a completely different version
I
of
got
you.
goosebumps.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Like,
wow.
how sometimes people's voices change a little bit when they
Mhm.
bring through a channel because you're actually speaking through the
Yeah.
vibration, the frequency in which the channel comes through. The same thing happens when I play
Yeah.
because it is literally moving through me. So lots of times I'll watch back and I'll be like, wow, like, like I'll watch same thing because it is a channel that is coming through me to play sound, to
Mhm.
create the frequency that is emitted from the sound.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you
it's
know what?
pretty neat.
It's so incredible. And I want to talk about my experience with you in a moment, but I wanted to go back to you mentioned how, we were talking in the last episode about, babies and children and how they can't regulate their nervous system on their own at that point. And we have to learn it. And what was coming up for me was how, I mean, first of all, I've told you this before that ICU is just like the most divine mama, like mother Gaia energy. Like you're just mother energy, feminine energy embodied. And your kids are just so lucky to have you as a mom.
Oh,
And I don't find it interesting. It's not a surprise to me, I guess, that this has really shifted into where you've been called to, especially over time, because what was coming up when we were talking about, the babies, is that what do, mamas, guardians, support systems of babies do? They sing to them, they hum, they rock them, and they make sound. And why do we do that? We do that to help them soothe, to help them calm. So this is just such a like clear embodiment of you as a mama,
oh,
but also like,
so emotional.
I know, sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
Oh,
But it's true in that like this is what the feminine and the mamas do, whether it's,
uh,
you birthed the baby yourself or you're supporting, a baby that you didn't birth. Doesn't matter. It's like that feminine, mothering, loving energy. We just intuitively sing and hum and make noise, and it's all coming from the same the same place. You're just also using instruments and
yeah,
yourself as an instrument
yeah,
to use things that are tuned to different frequencies and to support different chakras and to um, be a little bit more directive with it,
yeah.
which is incredible. It's incredible.
Oh, thanks. I did a treatment on my daughter the other day. She's 7 and she's turning 8 in a week, but she's 7 and she was so sick with, seasonal whatever. They back to school,
Yeah.
kids get sick. So she's sick and she's just like a mess. And I said, "Baby, would you like a treatment?" She's like, "Yes." So then I brought her down here and then put the bed out and I lit the candles and I said, "Okay, now every treatment's different, but if mama starts speaking like a different language, that happens. Um, you are safe, all the things. Because she plays bowls with me and stuff like that all the time. But this I could tell was a deep treatment. So I lit all the candles and I called in her guides and I opened up the energy field and they were all rushing in. And then all of a sudden I started speaking because I've connected into speaking in this light language that I use during healing treatments. And so I'm speaking a different language and I'm like into it and I'm using the sound and doing this big treatment on her. And I can see that her energy feel like she was like hovering around her body and I could see the healing take place and I was singing and doing all the things. And then afterwards I was just guided to just like hold her like and rock her. So I held her and rocked her and I gave her some water and then I sat her up and I said, "How do you feel?" And she goes, "Mama, I'm really dizzy." I'm like, "Yeah, like just give yourself a second to come into your body." And you're talking, I said, "So like how was the experience for you?" And she said, "I wasn't asleep, but I wasn't awake. I was
Mm.
in between." And she starts explaining like her, like kind of in that theta brainwave state. And she was kind of hovering over her body and literally not a cough, a sniffle, nothing. Like she 100%. And then she'll say, she's like, "Oh, my mama heals." Like, it's just like, and this was more too for me. My guides were like, "You needed to see this too. Like you needed to see how this can actually be so effective in one treatment
Mm.
that it was like zero sickness, like
Mm.
gone." And same thing when we used the bowls when August, my son and I used the bowl when the bird hit the window and we were
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
the
yeah.
the sound bowl and all of a sudden it just like got up and flew away and we're like, "Oh, you crying,"
Mm.
because we thought it was like not,
Mhm.
and so the actual power of this channel that comes through the healing power is so divine. It's so beautiful. It's so connected to the real primordial part of us and like the ancient wisdom of the sound frequency healing
Mhm.
is absolutely incredible. And
Mhm.
I'm just so grateful. I'm like this sponge that's just like
Mhm.
more and more and more, right? But yeah, you can you can have individual treatments, but also just if you know that you are, it's great for like insomnia, to find on my playlist the ones that go for like over an hour and you can just play in the background. It's so great to bring your system into a place to just calm down enough to fall asleep. I know
Hmm.
my oldest really suffers from insomnia, and it's a really, really big help for her. And stress and anxiety, and even just playing it in the background is
Hmm.
really good. It's really
Hmm.
good for kids. Kids, pets.
Oh my gosh, get out of my brain. That's just what I was about to
Oh my
say. Tell a
gosh, you
story
should
about that.
see my pets just like, because I have
Hmm.
so many animals
Hmm.
around me, just like, ugh, right?
Hmm.
And I play for my plants. So
Mm.
if there's one that's been in distress because of change of season
Hmm.
sometimes, or if, I had to move it and it's in a bit of distress,
Hmm.
I will gather it and I'll put a speaker by it and I'll play it either from my playlist or actually like gather my plants around me and actually play bowls for them.
Hmm.
And it is incredible for your
Hmm.
plants. So you can put it outside in your garden and play it too. Like just put it
Mm.
on, and the sound frequency.
Mm.
If you want proof, like plants don't lie. It follows that universal patterning, right? It's incredible. It's like when you pour water into a plant that you're like, oh, they're thirsty, and you can literally see them perk up.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sound. It's incredible when you know that your plant is in distress.
I'm gonna need to do that. I've been guided deeply to get more plants and we're gonna start a garden next year and stuff. But like poor Spidey back there, I mean that's the only it's a spider plant. They're supposed to live through and I mean it's alive. She's
It
been
is
through some
alive.
she's been through some stuff. Like I am a good pet parent. I haven't always been a good plant parent and I'm going to learn and care for the plants that I get over the next year. But that's a good tip to have just in
Yeah,
case. I'm like, oh,
for
sorry,
sure.
I've been starving you. I forgot.
Your plant might
Um,
be lonely too. If
well,
you
it
bring
has
it in.
another one, but that
Oh,
one's
it
even
does.
worse off. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I had to tend to my outside plants this year, which I did. We got two trees. I've named them. I go talk to them.
Oh, yay!
Betty,
They love
Betty and
that.
Laverne
Oh.
Lilac and Betty Birch. Betty almost died. She had transplant shock, but she's good. We talked to
Mhm.
her. We, did all the things and they're thriving. So all to say. But I was when I picked up my phone that day and saw, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like I knew it was you, but I did the double take. I was playing it through our speakers downstairs because it was a day where the solar flares were really intense. And my one dog, Ava in particular, she's a sensitive little Sally. You and Ginette can
Yes.
attest to that because she was friggin' nuts when you guys came to visit.
Yeah.
She's like, who are all these beings in my house? Like she was just
Yeah,
not okay.
totally energy. My
She was
gosh.
not okay. But like solar flares and moons, she's even more sensitive than normal.
I hear you,
And there was some
girl.
big class solar flares, and she was like could not handle herself. And so I was like, we need some toning down. And so I put on your sound bowl, playing to just help everybody like okay, there might be a lot of intense energies, but let's just take a breath because she was really on edge and like barking at nothing and just not, she's
Yeah.
pretty chill around the house usually when it's just us. And she was just so on edge, and everybody just be like, I kind of tended to what I was doing and putzed around in the kitchen, and they both just lay down on the couch and, she
Yeah.
settled completely. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things. And I'll say, if somebody has a chance to do an in-person healing with you, it's really incredible. Like I said, I think I was transported to another galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And
Generally, we do travel a bit during
yeah,
during
yeah.
treatments for sure. Yeah.
But I'm wondering because, you have this amazing offering of doing these individualized treatments from a distance. What should people like? How should people, because they reach out to you, they book with you, you do an intuitive reading with it as well as the recording. What's the best way for people to receive that? Like, should they go lay down? Should they kind of create their own zenny space, like as if
So
you were with them in
essentially,
person?
it's so individualized, right? So this is the beautiful part of it. So if you go to Avalon Spirit, this is a new offering I do have. It's a sound healing. So what that comes with is you email and you book, and then I get notification you've booked. And so now it's me and you. Now we communicate together. So what I like to do is just kind of reach out and you kind of give me like, this is your name. if you want, like saying, I'm really going through something, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, or I just lost my dad, or something like that. Okay. If you want, you certainly don't have to.
Mhm.
But if there is something specific, you can just put it in like a brief little email. So then what I do is the first video I record, I tune in to I just need your first and last name. Essentially, that's all I need is just your first and last name. Lots of times that's all, like in one-on-one readings, that's all I ask for. I say, I don't want to know anything else.
Mhm.
And then I tune into your energy field and I bring through a channeled direct, it's my mediumship reading. And so I record it. It's a 30-minute recorded session. And then I send the link to you and you have that link forever.
Mhm.
With that, I also do a personalized channeled sound healing. And the sound healing comes from your guides, your higher self, my guides, my higher self, my energy team that works with me to bring through the sound channel. And it is directly for you, for what you need right now. And so
Mhm.
then you get that recording as well, and you have that recording for life. And you can listen to it over and over. You can listen to it at nighttime. You can listen to it when you're going for a run. You can listen to it when your nervous system is taxed. You'll know because it is the energy of the reading. So it's
Mhm.
all a part of your energy system and what you need at that time. And that is from the help of your higher self and your guides. And so then you have the beautiful part is that you get these two links and they're your personalized links and you
Mhm.
have access to them forever.
Amazing.
And yeah, it is really cool. Like, the feedback's been amazing because it is so individualized. Like that channel comes through for you.
Mhm.
And it's such a beautiful way to heal and connect and it's beautiful. It's just and it's
Mhm.
always different.
Mhm. Yeah, and I love that people have access to it forever because even if it's channeled for you right now for, say, a specific thing, you know, we know, generally speaking, time is not real,
No,
our
and it comes from
circumstances. So,
your higher self. Like
yeah,
your
so
energy field is
it,
open when I'm channeling this for you.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's for you infinitely, right? It doesn't just
I'm
have to be
like,
like, I'm
that's right.
sick, I need this thing, right?
That's
Because
right.
even if it's something that's addressing in this moment, the remnants, the energetics, the belief systems, the
Yeah,
core pieces, the like it all impacts us, right?
that's
Big or
right.
small. And
That's
so
right.
it's a piece of you and it can be supported and
Yeah,
you can be supported indefinitely. It's
absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like anything else that you would use in any kind of healing modality. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's not like people would say, like, I use as basic as I can. If somebody uses Advil for a headache, the next time they have a headache, they're not going to be like, no, but that Advil was for last time headache.
Yeah.
This time headache, I don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is a timeless energetic connection to your energy field forever.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Well, I would highly, highly recommend booking with
Thanks,
Lisa.
Elise.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Thanks.
I
I
can't
love
wait.
it. I love it so much. And if you would have asked me like 5 years ago if this is what I'd be doing, I'd say no. But like to the point now where we're looking at like space to like land so that I can have this healing modality for animals. Like I want to do rescue and I
Mm.
want to have a healing farm so I can rescue the animals that I can feel are asking. Like I'm being guided to do this so that we can have healing vibrations on a farm for heal and then healing animals to heal people. So there's just
Mm.
like I want this the sound frequency healing farm.
Mm.
And it's going to be amazing. And you
Oh my
guys can
gosh.
all come and check out my healing farm.
I'm probably just
Spend time
gonna
there.
like set up, we're starting a commune, I think, is what we decided
Honestly,
to
like
do.
come and
Anytime anybody's like the world, I'm like, commune. It's the answer. I'm getting all my friends and our families. I'm not having, earth
Ah,
babies, so I can just be around other people's earth babies and
yes.
commune. Commune.
Bring
That's what we're
your
gonna
bring your fur babies because they're
Yeah,
all here to help with this
totally.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks for
Yes.
sharing what you do. I mean,
You're
you do so
welcome.
many amazing things, but I know this is kind of a newer offering, and I know you've been
Yeah.
getting really amazing feedback from it. I know G and I have had nothing but amazing things to say about it when we've been able to access it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're
Oh, it's
lucky to
my
have you.
pleasure. It's my
Amazing.
pleasure.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
I will, like I said, I'll link all of your good stuff down
Yeah.
below. So if people are interested in booking or checking out your YouTube, you can do that.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe one day Zoom will work with us so that you can
Yeah,
actually,
or like figure out some way to do it. If anybody out there knows Zoom and you can figure out how to get this to sound properly,
please let us know.
please let us know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you should make an intro song for us for Spirit Coffee Talk.
That would be amazing.
Screw this like canned random person's music. Let's
Yeah.
use Lisa Richmond music.
That's a hell of an idea. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Anyhoozle. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
yeah, we hope you enjoyed and make sure to follow along. As always, let us know if you want to hear anything else from us and I hope to see you next week.